Hi, I'm Bill Heath, the Superintendent of Schools in Lincoln County. I'd like to take a few moments here and talk to you about a slight change that we have for our in-school traditional students that will occur between now and fall break. These we are calling our e-learning days, and I'd like to explain those to you in a little more detail over the next couple of minutes. First of all, the dates that we will have for e-learning days are August 24th, August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th. Those days will now become e-learning days or virtual days for all students with two or three slight exceptions, which I will mention in just a few moments. Um, we are we have evaluated where we are now that 2 weeks of school are over, and we see that we have a couple of things that we haven't been able to do yet. A couple of areas we definitely want to address. Number one, looking at our core value number one, which is our students and taking care of our children. We want to allow our students who have chosen in-person traditional to be able to experience virtual learning these 4 days in preparation for the possibility of a future virtual learning requirement that may happen, may not happen. But I want to stop right there and let everyone know, please don't read into this announcement. This is, we have to be prepared in case that day comes. We are not saying, hint, hint, this is about to happen, because that's not our plans. Our plans right here with this program are to give your children an opportunity to experience e-learning so that if that day ever happens, which will be our last option, to go full virtual at a school or to go full virtual in the district is our last option. But if that happens, we want your children to be prepared. So that is core value number one in regard to this plan. Now, in regard to core value number two, which, if you're familiar with our core values in Lincoln County Schools, is taking care of those adults who take care of our kids. We want to allow our teachers an opportunity to manage both virtual and in-person student learning for the remainder of the first 9 weeks as they become familiar with the requirements and the expectations of learning for all. We want our teachers to experience what it's going to be like if that day ever comes that we have to go full virtual. Also, we after 2 weeks of school, we have discovered that our teachers need an opportunity to make adjustments, to take a breath and say, I've got to make some adjustments to the way I'm teaching because I'm now teaching virtual students and in-person students, and my workload has increased to the point I need to make some adjustments. They need time to make those adjustments. So, for the benefit of all kids, we want all our teachers to make the adjustments that need to be made at this time in delivering instruction. So these days will also be for those teachers, our teachers, to make those adjustments that they need to make at this time to better serve our students, all of our students, the ones in person and the ones virtual. So there's sort of like two things there that our teachers are getting out of this. One is experiencing a full virtual environment in case that day happens. Number two, having an opportunity to make the adjustments to their instruction and delivery of instruction while delivering instruction to both virtual and in-person students. So, with that being said, I'd like to talk about the desired outcomes of these e-learning days. Number one, we definitely want them to end at fall break if at all possible. So we're only talking 4 days between now and fall break that are impacted, and those are listed on the sheet here. August 24th, August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th. If for some reason we need more of these e-learning days after fall break, number one, I promise you we're going to try to make it as limited as possible. Definitely not looking at every week, but if we have to find a day or two after fall break, we'll look for those days. Uh, and number two, I promise you we will announce it before fall break ever gets here if we're going to extend it at all to after fall break. So that's a couple of things that are desired outcomes. Number three, expectation for students: become familiar with e-learning. All students, even the ones that are in school, become familiar with e-learning. Same thing with teachers, becoming familiar with the e-learning process. Number five, students, almost all students will be participating in these e-learning days. The only groups that will be exempt from this program, and these students will be in school on these days, would be our CDC students, our dual enrolled students, and our Lincoln Central Academy lab students. So if you have a child in any of those three situations, they will have school on those days. The last thing I want to mention is food service. Lunch, breakfast and lunch will be provided curbside for the traditional students on those days. Uh, the virtual students that are already virtual, full-time virtual, will still pick up your breakfast and lunch in mass the way you do now. So slight change in that. We will be offering lunch and breakfast on those e-days to the students who would normally be in school. More information will be coming out about this, but I definitely wanted to give you as much time as possible. So this video is being made on Friday, August the 14th. That's 10 days prior to the beginning of this program. So I want to give you that notice so that if you need to make arrangements as a parent that you've got 10 days to do that. I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the thought and prayers that you've given to Lincoln County Schools and to our employees and students. And I want you to know we're working really hard to keep providing uh, the the option that you have chosen for your child. We're going to get better and better at the virtual learning and virtual teaching. We're going to get better and better at the technology. And when I say we, I mean students and adults and everyone. And we're going to be getting better and better at juggling between virtual and in-person teaching and learning. Our teachers and all staff are working very, very hard, and we'll continue to work very hard, and we're going to work very hard on these days. So thank you. I ask you to continue thinking about us, praying for us, and I'd ask you to stay safe, and God bless you.